We already saw how to draw one snake roaming in a cave, but what about 2 or 3? Of course, we can't start with 3 snakes at the same time. So let's draw our second snake, which is going to be larger than our first one. The reason why we need a second one is because our first one is only 10 centimeters, which means they have a great personality, but nothing else. Now let's talk about the shape of the snake. The second one is going to be a cobra. And the first one, it's a normal green snake. So to draw a cobra correctly, we need to simplify it into geometrical figures. So let's do an oval for the head, a line for the body, and another oval for the neck. So now let's translate these geometrical figures into our body. Also, remember that some snakes have a pointy head when looking up. It has kind of like a triangular shape. And, oh my god, can you see how different their shape is even though they are both snakes? So cool. By the way, I forgot to draw the neckline that helps to separate the neck from the belly, so here it is. Now let's draw the pretty little face. Cobras have pretty little roundish eyes and a big smile. Look how big and cute a cobra smile is. Don't forget to draw their cute little tongue. And once you finish drafting the geometrical figures, let's jump to the line art. It is a little bit funny because the large snake has a little face compared to the short snake. And the short snake has like a big ass face compared to their body. So now let's draw the scales of the cobra. If you notice, cobras have like 3 different scales shapes. The face scales have more like a pentagon shape. Oh, also, when drawing the scales from the face, remember to start from the eye. That makes the process way easier. And the scales from the belly have more like a rectangular shape. And lastly, the scales from the neck have more like a kite shape or something like that. I don't remember how to pronounce that figure. If you are still paying attention to the video, you will notice how I start by drawing the scales from the head, then I jump to the scales of the belly, and lastly, I'm drawing the scales from the neck. And now that we finished the scales, we are ready to color the snake. So now let's color our cobra using our image as a reference. And I'm not going too deep into how to color it because that's not important. You are here to learn how to draw 2 cobras roaming inside a cave, not how to color them. Now that we have finished coloring our cobra, let's compare our snakes. As I previously mentioned, our green snake was only 10 centimeters, but our cobra is 22, making our cobra way more dangerous and terrifying. And now you may say something like, Boo-boo, isn't it wrong to compare 2 snakes between each other? Shut the fuck up, I do what I want. So now let's draw the cave, and this is probably the cave you have in mind, but it's not the case. We are drawing the tunnels inside the cave. So it's like an X-ray version of the cave. Remember that the tunnel of the cave, it's going to be pretty tight, so the snakes are barely going to fit inside of it. And maybe you're going to ask me, but Boo-boo, why are the tunnels so tight? And that's because that's how they are. Have you ever seen a tunnel that wasn't tight? Well, maybe they are, but those are extreme cases. Maybe those cases occur when 1 or more snakes are constantly ramming inside of it, like every day, more than once a day. But even then, it is still really difficult to lose a cave because they are extremely elastic. So most of the time, they're going to go back to their original shape. And if you are still looking at the screen, you're gonna notice that I'm now coloring the cave. And maybe you are wondering, why is the cave purple? That's because inside the cave, there is a rave event. So they're having a rave with purple lights and music out loud. That's why there are 2 snakes ramming pretty hard inside of it. Because they are dancing and enjoying the rave because the music is pretty good. So maybe now you're wondering, and how can I do the moving ramming effect? And that is pretty easy. As you see, we already have it with 1 snake. So now let's do it with the cobra. First, we're going to duplicate the layer where the cobra is. Then we're going to apply a mesh transformation. And we're going to transform the mesh of the cobra as if she's hitting really hard against the wall. Now let's put the tongue inside and let's close their eyes. That's because when you hit your head against something, you usually do it with your eyes closed. For a better effect, let's draw the wall of the cave touching the cobra's mouth. And let's also fade the layer a little bit. And now let's apply a moving blur. And this will help us to give the cobra a better ramming effect. Make sure the angle for the blur is correct. And to give a stronger effect, you can add some moving lines with a white border. And that's it. Now the cobra is also ramming against the cave. And now both snakes are having fun in the rave party. Now that I have shown you how to draw one snake roaming in a cave and two snakes roaming in a cave, what about three? So if you're wondering, yes, we need to lose the cave, but not right now. The most important thing right now is to see where the third snake is going to be, but also which type of snake it is. So there are long, short, and bent snakes. So for this third example, we're gonna do a bent snake. And this third snake is going to be an Honduran milk snake. Why? Because they are so cute. She feels bonita. As always, we're going to simplify this snake into geometrical figures starting with the head. Let's use a roundish rectangle to simplify the head. Honduran milk snakes have a pretty roundish triangular head overall. I also like this type of snakes because they are really easy to draw and simplify as well. And their body is just a really long rectangle. They also have two very round eyes like a chihuahua. They kind of remind me to two tapioca pearls. And of course, after we simplify our snake, we follow up with the line art. Isn't it so cute? Don't get fooled by her cute appearance, she's a wild girl. Let's follow up with the scales of this snake, which have more like a kite shape. Also, I don't know why, but while recording this video, you have no idea how many times I have confused snake for shake. So pretty often I'm saying Honduran milkshake instead of snake. So what the hell? Okay, now let's color the pretty snake. Opposite to the cobra, I'm gonna show you how to color the Honduran milk snake because it is so pretty. Their colors are magnific. So I bet you wanna learn how to color it even if the tutorial is not about that. And yeah, these brushes I'm using paint and fade all at the same time. These are self-custom brushes I made for Click Studio Paint. And in this video description, you will see a link to buy very cheaply these brushes. After coloring the snake, let's widen the cave. And you are maybe wondering, well, boo-boo, but how can a cave widens? Well, I don't know, I'm not a geologist. And now let's also move our first two snakes to make some space for the third one. Oh my god, look how pretty these three snakes look together. You may be wondering about the length of the Honduran milk snake. Compared to the other snakes, it's obvious that she's the longest one. As the green snake, it's only 10 centimeters. Our cobra, which was the previous winner, it's 22. But, can you see that? 26 centimeters? Yes, our Honduran milk snake is the new winner and it's 26 centimeters. Sadly, our cobra is the new loser as she wins. Now let's apply to our third snake the same movement effects that we have done in our previous two snakes. Once again, use mesh transformation to show how the shape of the snake changes when ramming against the cave. Nobody hits their face with their eyes open, so close their eyes. Then go to Filter, Blur, and then click on Motion Blur to add the motion effect of the snake moving. As a last touch, add some speed lines to show how fast the snake is moving, and that's it. Now you have three snakes ramming against a cave. So fun!